I think it's super important that the entire hospitality industry focuses on it. I think there's two aspects that we look at particularly, and that's, for one, the guest expects to be using technology. The guest is evolving, and I think just simple interactions with your smartphone in your everyday life is just really, it's embedded now in your daily life. And that is something that they expect, obviously, from hospitality as well, to be able to use their smartphone. Their subscription, that's probably like Netflix, Spotify and co. And we know it through the airlines as well, right? They've been working with wallets, boarding passes for a while. So I think it's pretty much from a guest perspective, it is expected. Now, if you look at the operational perspective, which is also a very, very important part, operational efficiencies. And we believe that, especially with staff shortages, tech is the only way forward. I think the first thing that is really important is, what are your goals, right? You need to define those goals, put them down in metrics, make them measurable. What do you want to achieve? Understand your guest even further, right? Who are you targeting? And once you know all of these KPIs, also look at your employees, obviously. What do you want to achieve on that end? What are the operational efficiencies you want to drive? What is the service you want to conduct? So once you understand that, there's obviously a wide array of people and companies you could be talking to, but it's important that you take your time really analyzing who can help you from a technological perspective achieving those targets and continuously evolve as well. That's a very important part because the world is ever so changing. So therefore you kind of need a partner on your side that can evolve with you over time. And I understand that it may be a bit difficult because the landscape is so vast. You might need to have some outside help as well. There's consultants out there, right? There's people specialized in really bringing in project management. So sometimes you might even say, hey, I don't have that internal resource and I might just externally source it, and that's absolutely fine. There's a lot of, I guess, a lot of companies out there looking to help hoteliers navigating through that space. I think it's along their KPIs and their targets again. If, for example, you're looking to reduce a very simple example, I want to reduce the waiting times at front office, right? That means you're looking for a software that can kind of help you take parts of what a front desk agent would do and goes along the lines of capturing all of these details. So it's really important to look at what is the exact process, what is the exact KPI, and then you go out in that space, and there's various review platforms actually as well that they could leverage. For example, Hotel Tech Report is a good one, where you go into categories and you look at feedback from other hoteliers as well in that space. And also what you shouldn't underestimate is your existing partners might be able to help you to direct you into that right space, because there's customer success managers in almost every tech company now. And they might be able to help you finding the right partner through their local marketplaces as well. I think it's really important because we're not just looking at room revenue now, total revenue is what you should be looking at, because just an overnight stay might be important to you as an economy hotelier, but there's so many other additional parts you can sell. Now, technology plays an important role because it can take away that pain of upselling certain elements, right? Somebody might want to book an economy room and just is fine with that, but they also might need a parking space. They also might want to check out later. All of these elements are being brought together, and rather than putting a front desk agent into that position to say, hey, would you like a parking space? Why don't you give that option already digitally, right? For somebody prior to arrival to choose and mix and match their stay. So that is ultra important to hoteliers, but it goes even further than that. I think maximizing space and utilizing all the space you have in your property, right, is really important, and that's where additional revenue sources are being opened. For example, you could, transform a space that may be used for breakfast only for the rest of the day into a co-working space and then upsell it, or you could use a hotel room that's not used during the day for like a home office. We saw that during the pandemic quite a lot of creative ideas came out of that. And technology can literally help facilitate that need early on and really advertise all of that for the hotelier at the end of the day to ensure that a guest can actually mix and match their stay to their personal requirements prior to even arriving on property. I think knowing that hospitality businesses and guests are so different, both will always exist. I think both approaches, best of breed sort of software, mixing and matching specialized software together versus an all-in-one solution, it really depends on the complexity of the property and the hospitality business overall, but also on the guest expectations. I can imagine that a hotelier who wants to probably have a much smaller lean operation is leaning more towards best of breed technology because they need to specialize. I'm thinking conference hotels or something like that. They might want to use the best of both worlds, but then larger all-inclusive resorts could lean more towards an all-in-one solution, right? That's more specialized in that area. So I think both of them have a place in this industry and both of them are valid. It's just really depending on the business and who's behind the business as well, right? And what they personally prefer. I think AI is the overall topic. We've seen that here at ITB as well. I think everyone's coming out with solutions, really jumping on that. I see that looking at everyday life as well, how we've started to leverage AI, chatbots, ChatGPT, Claude AI, and all of that in our daily lives. And I'm really excited to see what's happening on that end. We're already integrating with AI technology, primarily for messaging and reservation operational efficiency, but you could go even further. And I hope that at some point, you don't necessarily need an operations platform anymore, that you could just use an AI tool to kind of run your everyday through commands or whatever it is. So I'm really excited about what that space will add to Like Magic as well. That's an absolute focus for us to go further and really enable operations and employees.